Hey.
Hello.
That is crazy that Chrome cannot handle Hangouts. Stop
Yeah.
it. Okay. Waiting for Janet and Elaine.
Okay. I think we have to now promote, obviously, the Hangout in our various streams again.
Give me a second. Let Elaine and James come in. Can you hear me better now?
I could actually hear quite well before. That wasn't too bad.
Okay. I think I'll get closer. Hold on. How about now?
Yeah, it's fine. Fine, absolutely fine. I don't see the Hangout stream in your stream, Yifat. I only see the join Hangout. Because you're not on air yet, are you?
Right. I'm not on air yet.
You're not on air, I think.
No. Oh, I hate stuff. Sometimes technology can be so annoying.
So shall we start? Shall we start where we left off, or shall we start again?
From the beginning, I think.
From the beginning, because it wasn't that much anyway, was it?
No. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. These kind of things happen, and it's certainly not your fault.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you pressed the wrong button.
No, and you know what? I was worried that it's gonna crash on me, and it did.
Yeah, you see, if you think negative thoughts, negative things are going to happen to you.
I know.
So think positive, darling. Think positive.
I usually do. But I was debating which browser to work with, and I was like, no, Chrome should be fine. Shows me. Let's see.
Let me know when you go on air so we can promote the.
Let's do that. Let's go on air.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I'll watch your
4,
stream.
3, 2, 1. On air. There we go.
Okay, let me just put the link to this Hangout onto my.
It doesn't let me copy and paste. What's going to happen? Oh. Can you paste the link to the invitation I just sent you?
Which one?
The link to the invitation I sent you under
The what?
on my profile.
Not the on air one. The one to.
No, the on air, so we can have more.
The on air one. Now, the on air one I just put on my stream. Do you want it here in the chat? The link?
Not in the chat. In a comment under my post.
In the comment under your post.
Yes, because when I just shared the public Hangout right now.
Yeah.
So if you can share the link in a comment to that post.
Oh, the same link to that Hangout.
Yeah, so people can join, not just watch.
I don't think I can follow you, darling. Because the poster is on your stream now. They just have to click on Hangouts on air, and they can.
They can watch, but I want.
And you mean the one where you join?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Just a second.
Okay, because I see people are watching, but I'm not able to join us yet.
Okay, done.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, everything done. Okay, that
Great.
looks good.
Okay, so let's start again. Sorry about that, guys.
Shall we start again?
Yes, let's start again. If you
let's
guys want
let's
to
hope
join us,
let's hope it's not the third time lucky.
I know. If you
And
guys
James
want
is
to
back.
join
James
us,
is back too. Okay.
I'm back. Okay.
if you
So
guys want to
Yifat,
join us, the link is right there in the comments. And also, if you're watching, please +1 so we can count how many people are watching. And then we'll get started again with Jen.
yes, let's get started again.
So this is our 8th entrepreneurial interview, I believe. With this one is with Jen Graikowski. Did I say it right?
Jens Graikowski.
Jens Graikowski.
Yeah.
And Jens is one of the people that were chosen as the innovating with Hangouts, and he is probably the first one to start to make a business out of Hangouts. Is that correct? Would you say you're the first one?
I'm not 100% sure if I'm the first one, since I don't follow all the others, but I'm certainly one of the first, I would think, with my language classes. Yes.
To create a business out of it, or just not just use it, but create a business out of it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a business. So I know that loads of people do. Oh, hello. I was waiting for you. Can you hear us, Lauren?
I muted her so we can continue with the interview.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm the first, but certainly one of the first. And it's, of course, supposed to be a business. I know that loads of people do free stuff here with Hangouts. And I think it's absolutely great. I've seen really fantastic things happening here on Hangouts, and all for free. But I think I'm probably one of the first who is trying to make a living with Hangouts, yeah.
That's awesome. So, okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to where you are right now, and what made you think about starting a business with Hangouts?
Well, obviously my business is a language school. And I've always been passionate about languages. I speak 3 languages myself in a various degree of proficiency, I would think, but all 3 of them pretty fluently. English, German, and Spanish, and I always had a hang for languages. I also have an ear for languages. As you can tell, my English is maybe not perfect, but it's pretty accent-free. So the same is with my Spanish. Actually, my Spanish is terrible because I have a very strong Tenerife accent. People always tell me. But how did I get into languages? I used to like traveling a lot, but because of my not exactly very wealthy background, my parents weren't able to travel with us children an awful lot, and my father was a hard-working man. So when he went on holiday, we always did the same thing. We always went with the caravan down to Spain and did a beach holiday, because my father needed them 3 or 4 weeks a year just to purely relax because of his hard work. So we never really saw an awful lot of the world, my brother and I always regretted that very much, because I love new cultures, I love new countries, I love meeting people, learning their languages. So when I was finally on my own, I decided I'm going to make something of it. So I left Germany when I was only 21. And I wanted to travel the world a bit. I decided to spend about 7 or 8 years of my life just traveling the world. I set myself a maximum limit of about 1 year for each country, which I thought was enough to meet people and learn a bit about the traditions and learn about the culture, learn the language, of course. And I went to Spain. And funny enough, I went to exactly the place where we always went on holiday, which, of course, makes sense because I already knew people there. Okay. So they got me. Sorry?
I think you got cut off. Did he get cut off for you guys? No? Just me? Okay, go ahead.
Am I still there? Okay. So I went, my first stop really was the place where we always went on holiday because I knew people there already. So they got me a job, they got me an apartment. So I was pretty well looked after there. And I spent, just as planned, I spent a year there. or almost a year, and then I wanted to go a bit further away from Germany. And Canary Islands were a very nice compromise because they're pretty far away from Germany. 3,500 kilometers is quite a distance, but they're still Spain, so they're still Europe, and that is a bit of a safety net in case something does happen to you. You can get back home straight away without an awful lot of problems. So I decided to go to Canary Islands, and from here I wanted to go to Australia for a year, and from Australia I wanted to spend like about 3 years in different Asian countries. From there, 1 year East Coast Africa, 1 year West Coast Africa, 1 year North America, 1 year South America, and then I wanted to end up to live in the Caribbean. That was the plan. As you can see, I'm still in Tenerife. After 20 years almost, I met my now wife here in the first 3 months, got married. Now I've got 2 wonderful kids, and my travel plans have to wait for a bit longer, I'm afraid.
So how were you introduced to Google Plus?
A friend of mine who is actually not active on Google Plus at all. He's very very active on Facebook, and he's very much into all everything tech. And he must have gotten an invite in July, sometime in July, and he said, "Listen, I've got this new thing there, Google Plus, a new social network, and would you like an invite? Because invite only." And I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's try." Because I was very unhappy at Facebook. So I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's get over there and try that one out." So I came over here and had a fantastic welcome here. I mean, people were it was still in the early stages, wasn't it? It was still in the first few weeks, and people here, they all knew each other, and I had a fantastic welcome. So many people helped me out with getting my way around the place, and felt home straight away. And I never looked back. Since. I mean, Facebook for me is basically dead. I only go there to post my Google Plus posts.
It's another place to promote what you're doing here. That's great.
Yeah, well, I like I think probably many people on your interviews have mentioned it already. I like the quality of conversations here on Google Plus. If you compare that with Facebook, and I do have a Twitter account, but I don't use it. But if you compare that with Facebook, the difference is enormous, and I think that is why I felt home here straight away.
It is, and it's like, especially for someone who likes to meet new people and new cultures and get to know them personally, this is definitely a place where you can do that.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you want to meet Americans, you'll find plenty of them here. I've made a huge quantity of American friends here, and I've learned a lot about American culture here on Google Plus, which is amazing. Because I grew up in Bad Kreuznach in Germany, which is only a 45,000 inhabitant town, but we had more than 6,000 American GIs there, and so I grew up with Americans. I made most of it because I learned, obviously, a lot of English from them. I learned to love American football. But obviously they're gone now, and I haven't had contact with Americans for a very, very long time. So Google Plus now changed all that again, and I've got so many American friends now. It's wonderful.
Is it as popular in Germany and in Europe as it is in America, in the US?
I don't think it is. Obviously, well, it's obviously the numbers. America or the United States are obviously much more populated than Germany is. I'm not sure because, to be honest, I don't have an awful lot of German friends here. I have the occasional ones, but because I post everything in English, I don't really have an awful lot of contact with Germans here. So I wouldn't really know if it's really as popular.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't see many Israelis still yet, but
do you post in Israeli?
I post in English. So let me ask you, what made you think about starting a company and a business with the Hangout feature?
Yeah, that came up really after I came to Google Plus. You see, I used to work for years as a truck driver, as a truck and bus driver.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing to do with languages at all. But I've been out of a job for almost 2 years, and when I came to Google Plus, I was getting desperate. So on Hangouts, where you meet all these wonderful people, I talked about my problem about not being able to find a job and getting desperate, and a wonderful person and a really inspiring man, a good friend of mine now, Robert Anderson, he said, listen, why don't you just do something on your own? Why don't you just open your own business? And I said, I don't know. I was a bit. I've always worked as an employee, and it was a bit daunting, really. I didn't really know what to do about that. So I said, well, have you got any ideas? He said, no. He said, the idea has to come from you. So because I was always so passionate about languages, and because my wife and I, we've been running, or my wife mainly, really, we've been running a local language school for more than 5 years now here in Tenerife. I said, why not take that business to the internet? And that is really how CLC started.
And you started that about 6 months ago?
Oh, no. We only started about end of November.
End of November. Oh.
End of November. Very, very new. Yes, very, very new.
And you have a new twist about how to learn languages. Most companies throw you into the water with like a native speaker, with a book, and you need to memorize words. And your technique is totally different.
Yeah, you see, there's so many techniques for learning languages, and I think there's some very, very good ones around. But in my opinion, the best way to learn a language is if you learn something that interests you. I mean, the most natural way to learn a language is the way we learned our first language when we were little babies. Now take, for example, James, Blake, and me. We're boys. Yeah? We're blokes, and the first things we learned was Mummy, Daddy, car. Why? Mummy and Daddy gave us everything we wanted, and car was our favorite toy. So we learned first the words that interested us, and this we carried on through our whole life. So this should be really the way to learn language. So what we do at CLC is we don't give you a language course of 125 chapters, and at the end of the course you either speak the language or you don't. We want to offer language packets. There only are 10 classes each, but they're all themed. At the moment, because as I said, we only started in end of November, at the moment we only have football, or I think probably for our American viewers I should say soccer, because I'm not talking about the real football, I'm talking about the beautiful game. Yeah? So we have soccer and we have travel. And we want to, of course, expand that to a good 50, 60 different packets, all themed, and you as a student can choose what you want to learn about. So if you're interested in soccer, you choose the packet soccer. Then when you liked it and you want to learn more, you choose your next subject that you like. And like this, you can choose 6, 7, 8, or as many themes as you like, and in the end, we'll have a grasp of the whole German language.
And so you're starting with them because that's where you're from, right?
Yes, and I think that's very, very important. You see, in our courses, for example, we don't concentrate very much on grammar because, I mean, let's face it, in our age, we don't really want to learn grammar anymore, do we? We want to learn a language. We maybe want to travel to that particular country. We want to make ourselves understood, but we don't really have to speak perfectly in the foreign language. And if you're looking for language courses for academic users, then you're not right at CLC anyway. CLC is not for academic use. CLC is for the person who wants to learn a foreign language and wants to have loads and loads of fun with it. And that is what we're there for. So we're going to concentrate much, much more on pronunciation than on grammar, because pronunciation to understand and speak a language is much, much more important than grammar is. And that is why I obviously now start with German. As you can tell, my English is not too bad. But I still don't do English courses, though it probably would be much more lucrative for me. But I don't do it because I think lucrative, I think, is the pronunciation, isn't it? I think lucrative. You see, that's exactly what I mean. You see, so I work in my mother tongue, and if we are going to add later on more languages to our program, then I'm going to employ teachers who will only teach their mother tongues.
So that's beautiful. So basically, with your course, people can become fluent in the language, in the topic that interests them, not worry too much about the grammar, but they'll be able to get by, have conversations about their passions and the topics that they care about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is the most important thing, they're going to have loads and loads of fun with it. Our language packets are not only of educational value, they're as much of entertainment value. You see, what I want is, we don't all learn at the same speed, or one person doesn't learn as easy as the other. But that shouldn't really matter. In the end of a class, even if you maybe didn't get a complete grasp of everything, I want you to leave that class and I want you to think, this was absolutely great. Maybe I didn't learn that much today, but I had great fun. And I'm going to come back. That is really what I want, because the more fun we have, the better we're going to learn. That's fact.
Mm-hmm. And then you also make friends in the middle, because like you said, Hangout is the best place to actually meet new people, and now you have people who care about the same, who share your passion, and now share your passion for the same language, and now you can communicate and continue the conversation outside of the Hangout.
Absolutely. For example, take that soccer course. Yeah, take the soccer language packet. Don't see it as a language course. Just imagine you get 10 people in a Hangout. Yeah? So just imagine you and 9 friends are going to go to a soccer game together, and coincidentally, one of those friends speaks German and explains the whole game to you, and explains how you can understand the German commentator or whatever on the football field. Yeah. So it's not really a language course. It's a group of friends coming together and learning together. That is what it's all about.
That's perfect. So that sounds like the best business to have. And I'm going to ask you, what's your passion? As you said, languages was your passion, but aside of that, there's a lot of tedious work that comes into creating these courses. So what gets you up in the morning and gives you the motivation to actually, sit down and write everything down?
You see, it is in the last few weeks. I have to admit that I thought several times, wow, this is more difficult than I thought it would be, because you see, the thing is, I work exclusively with people on Google Plus, because they have to be a Google Plus member to be able to enter a Hangout. So I work exclusively with people on Google Plus, and I'm not allowed to advertise on Google Plus. There is no advertising on Google Plus. So I had to learn many new things. I had to learn about social media marketing. I had to learn a bit about logo design. Maybe even now I'm starting to learn a bit about web design. Luckily, I had a very, very good friend, Maximilian, who made that logo that I've got now for me. And I'm so happy about that, because really I'm such an amateur in design. It's terrible. So it's good when you find the proper people who help you and who help you without wanting anything back. I think that's absolutely wonderful. I think you find that only on Google Plus, really. So what gets me up in the morning? Getting me up in the morning at the moment, I think very much is a part, of course, from my wonderful family, is that I really, really, really want to get this business going. I think that CLC can be an immense enrichment for Google Plus, for the members of Google Plus. I think that that businesses on Hangouts is part of the future, and me being part of the future is absolutely wonderful. It gives me a very, very good feeling, and I learned so many new things. So yeah, I think that is what gets me up in the morning.
That's amazing. So that's actually really one of the qualities an entrepreneur needs to have. And you said before you had a fear of doing that kind of stuff because you didn't know how to work for yourself. And now you found what it is to get you up in the morning and get your business going.
Yeah, it's not even that I get up in the morning because I actually get up pretty late in the morning. Why? Because I usually spend till 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning in Hangouts or on Google Plus. So getting up early in the morning is quite often impossible for me.
So it's
But
probably my morning, right?
pardon?
You get up in my morning.
It probably more in your mornings, yes, because almost all people I speak to here are somewhere over there at your side of the big herring pond. So obviously I have to adjust to their times, and they are not my mornings. No.
So what's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote.
Yes.
Wow, that's a tough one. My father said something to me once. It's not his, but he said it to me, and I like it very much. He said, "Son," he said, "never get upset about other people, because 80% of them people you get upset about don't know that you're pissed off about them. And the 20% who do know don't care. So the only one who is left with negative emotions is you." And I think that's a very, very good advice. So I very, very rarely get upset about other people. I usually just walk away if I get too pissed off.
That is good, and that's actually a secret for the best marriage, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Luckily, if you have a wife like mine, you don't have to walk away very often.
Oh, that's beautiful. What is the one thing that you would consider telling someone who want to be an entrepreneur today?
Who want it?
The one advice that you will advise someone who is considering an entrepreneurship today. Someone who wants to move from an employee to owning their own business.
I think, because I'm so enthusiastic about right now, I would always say go for it. But I'm not sure that this would always be the best advice. It would be the best advice for me, and it probably would be the best advice for other people too, but it might not be very good advice for people who are just not made for it. You see, there's so many advantages to working for yourself and working with your own company. You can basically choose your own times when you want to work. You can, if you work on the internet, choose your own locations where you want to work. All this, you choose your own holiday and all that. All this sounds absolutely wonderful. But if you look behind the scenes, you will find that it's not not that wonderful. Because yeah, you choose your own times, but you also work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Yes, you can choose your own location, but in the end, you're sitting in an office in front of a computer. The nice thing is, I can work from here in Tenerife. I can visit my mother tomorrow in Germany. I just take my laptop and I can keep on working from there, which means I could spend time with my mother for the next 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, and would never stop working. So yes, it has lots and lots of advantages. Don't even get me started on holidays. I don't think I'm going to have holidays for a very, very long time.
You can make mini vacations.
Well, I meet so many nice foreigners on Google Plus. What do I need vacation for? I mean, I live in the place where people go on holiday. So why would I need? No, but as I said, I love traveling. So I hope and that with my new company, it will enable me also to travel the world a bit.
That'd be great. What is the biggest mistake you've ever made, and what did you learn from it?
Wow, the biggest mistake I ever made. Oh, wow. Now coming out of the blue, that is very difficult. I have very few regrets really in my life. I couldn't really now think of a very big mistake that I made. I try to live my life very, very direct, which leaves me with very few regrets. Now, I'm sorry, darling, but I really can't answer that question right now.
That's okay.
Yeah, not because it's so terrible. It's because I really can't think of a huge mistake I made.
Okay, like a mini mistake.
I think maybe one thing. Yeah, maybe thinking about maybe one thing is maybe I think I should have stayed at school a bit longer. My parents always wanted me to go to university and study and don't know, be a doctor or something. I don't know. But as young people very often are, I was pretty lazy as a young boy and as a youth. So I thought a lot about lots of other things like motorbikes and girls, but certainly not about like school. And later on, I regretted that. And I think once you become a parent yourself, that's a time when you find out that your parents have been right in so many things, and you just didn't want to listen because now it's your children that are not listening to you. So, yeah, I think I should have followed my father's advice and spent a bit more time on studying.
But it's never too late, you know.
Oh no, it isn't. Absolutely no. I learned something new every single day. As I said, I funny enough, now I'm older, and now, I mean, I'm not old. I'm only 43 years old. But now coming to grasp with new technologies and everything, I do realize that it becomes more and more difficult for me to keep things up there. And funny enough, now I like it. Now I love learning. Now I love learning new things. Like as I said earlier on, social media marketing, web and logo design, affiliate marketing, all these things. Absolutely, I find it now more difficult to learn them, but I also love it more. It's a fantastic challenge.
Yes. Yes, and actually, you know, someone said that if you're not learning something new every day, that's it. That's when you die.
Exactly. You never ever stop learning. Never. Stop
learning. What's your favorite? Speaking of learning and books, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book. I'm a science fiction buff. I love science fiction. I also very much like fantasy. I think my favorite book would probably be Isaac Asimov.
Oh,
Isaac Asimov wrote, I think it's a trilogy actually, the Foundation trilogy, and I think that would probably qualify as my favorite book. I also very much like though Anne McCaffrey. She wrote the Dragon of Pern series, now sadly deceased. So she's probably not going to carry on with that series. Yeah, all kinds of fantasy and science fiction.
So tell me about science fiction. Tell me about the most influential time in your life, or the person, or the moment that led you to where you are today. You talked about your dad vacationing, but maybe there's something else. Person, I could really say who I mentioned earlier, Robert Anderson. He's an amazingly inspiring person. He is hugely intelligent, yeah. Very, very knowledgeable in all kinds. He seems to know something about everything. Yeah.
It's amazing. This man is really amazing, and he's had a huge influence on creating this business I'm in now. I think basically if I would have to say the ideas and everything that went into your business, I would think that 70% is from him.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
He very much is, yeah, and he's so energetic and always willing to help without wanting anything in return. And I don't know how often I've invited him already to become partner of this company, so he reaps the benefits of his ideas too. And he just says, no, you carry on with it. He said, you go on, you carry on. It's yours.
He's a fun person.
He's a wonderful person.
What is the coolest technique, or like what we like to call it, a ninja trick, that you found out or that Robert taught you that helped you to become a good business owner?
Ninja trick. I think if you want to succeed in business, especially in internet business nowadays, you heavily have to get into social media marketing. I think that's the ninja trick. I love social media marketing because it very, very much agrees with me and the way I think. Social media marketing is so much consumer orientated. It's not anymore about what the companies want you to have or want you to sell. It's more what you as a consumer want, And the companies have to find out by communicating with you, have to find out what this is and have to engage with you and have to communicate with you to promote their products with you. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. I think it has a huge benefit for the consumer, and it is also a very, very friendly kind of marketing. It's a bit like going back to the olden days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when, like, for example, when you in the olden days, I mean, you're obviously far too young for that, but when you went back in the olden days to the butcher, for example, you always went back to your local butcher.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably a better butcher in the village next to you, but you still went back to your local butcher. Why? Because that guy knew you. He knew when your daughter got married. He knew that your husband just got the Pulitzer Prize. You know him. When you go shopping and buy meat with him, he will engage you in a conversation. A conversation that is not about his meat. A conversation that is about you as the consumer. And I think we're going back to this now. I think we're going back to this on a global scale. And I think that's the ninja trick. I think every business that doesn't get into social media marketing right now, every business that still insists on doing their traditional marketing will lose out in the long run.
I completely agree with you, completely, and which is why I really love the way Google structured their pages and the fact that they're not allowing you to circle people and they're not allowing you to do advertisements and contests and everything. Yeah. Really
Absolutely. I'm not very happy about the pages. I think pages could be improved on a lot.
Yeah, they will.
Especially, for example, on the design side, Google should give the page owner much more possibilities to design his page, to design to his own liking, maybe even with using his own HTML code or whatever. I think things like this should be enabled on Google Pages. But we must not forget that Google Plus and especially Google Pages are still very, very new.
Yeah.
And I think in 2012, we're going to see fantastic things happening on Google Plus. I'm so looking forward to 2012. I always said that Google Plus was the best thing that happened to me in 2011, and the signs are that it's going to carry on exactly like that in 2012. I'm absolutely positive about that.
Yeah, we're all with you. We're all
Good.
Google Plus fanatics.
Well, I think, you see, I think I can almost call myself a Google Plus fanatic, but I don't, because I hate fanatics. Yeah. Fanatics are usually going blind in one direction, and that, in my opinion, is never a good thing to do. I'm certainly a Google Plus buff, but I will also protest and complain about Google Plus if there's something that I don't like, as for example with the Google Plus pages that really need improving on, and this terrible PM system they've got here on Google Plus, with messages that just, private messages you send to somebody that just disappear into their stream because there is no proper private messaging system on Google Plus. I think that's absolutely terrible. I also like to search my messages later on at a later date, because I want to look up again what I said to people. Especially if you private message with loads and loads of people, you want to look up again what you said to them. I have to provide I have to attach unique hashtags to all my messages so I can find them again later. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good technique though. Until everything is figured out, that's a great.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful workaround. I find all my messages. That's not a problem at all. I can find any message I wrote to you straight away. But why on a sophisticated platform as Google Plus is, why do we have to work with workarounds? That is what I don't.
Google Plus is still in beta.
Absolutely.
And so, but okay, so let me ask a question from Laverne first, and then I'll answer to this because there's a good solution coming up.
Okay.
So Laverne is asking two questions. The first one is, how do you tell people to handle their fears? Is that right? How will you tell them to handle their fears?
How will you tell them?
So if someone decides to become an entrepreneur and they have a few fears regarding that decision, what advice can you give them to handling those fears?
Well, to be honest, I really didn't have an awful lot of a choice because, as I told you, I was jobless or in between jobs, as they say, and I really wanted something new. I did have my fears, absolutely, because it's something so new for me, and I didn't really know anything about it. But I think having a mentor, like for example, like I had Robert, I think that will get rid of a lot of your fears, because you have a confident person behind you who can give you tips and tricks, and with these kind of tips and tricks, you yourself approach things with much more confidence.
That's true.
I don't know. I think with everything, with any fear, I can only say, go through it. There is no fearless person. Fearless people are stupid. There is no fearless person. Being brave doesn't mean that you're fearless. Being brave means that you know how to deal with your fears. Being fearless is stupid. Go with it. Go through it.
And the second question, that's a great advice. The second question is, do you do all your marketing on social media?
Yes. Yeah, I do all my marketing on social media. I engage very much with my, I think you could say, targeted client group. But I also very much enjoy it because obviously we're talking about the same subject. We're talking about subjects that I'm passionate about. So it's not even really work for me. It's what I like doing anyway. It's like making a hobby your work, and it doesn't feel like work. I mean, I don't care. I think if I wouldn't have that business, I would still spend 10, 12 hours a day on Google Plus.
Yeah, same here. So I will open it up to questions.
Okay.
Warren, James, Blake, do you have any questions? If so, just open your mic and you can ask them.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. You had Robert Anderson, you said,
Mm-hmm.
as a person who sort of guided you and didn't want anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I found with social media, that, well, when it was on Twitter or Facebook, all these people were like putting you in their circles, putting you, following you, and they kept throwing what they can do at you, but it was all for these big lump sums of money. And when you were small, like I call myself a one-woman corporation, you don't have that lump sum of money to get that service. And you start saying, oh, can I really do this? Because it seems like everybody's just looking to pick your pocket. And that's how I felt, like they were trying to pick my pocket all the time. So when the big guys would even and when they come on and they follow me, I'm like, what do you want? Because a lot of times the big guys over there.
And he still encourages little guys like us. Mike Elgin, for example, helped me also with plugging my language school on his stream, which I found absolutely. I approached him, and I would have never thought that he would actually respond, and he did, and I found that absolutely fascinating. And if you see him in an interview, also if you met him in a hangout, he's such a nice person, isn't he? He's so relaxed and laid back and cool, and he's absolutely wonderful. But you see the difference that you said, for example, on Facebook, they're always trying to sell you their services, while on Google Plus that is different. That the reason for that is that the people here on Google Plus are still more of a techie crowd. They're a bit more of a techie and geek crowd, and these people, I think, also understand social media much, much better than the people on Facebook. You see, social media is all about pull, not about push. And people on Facebook are pushing, while people here on Google Plus are pulling. They engage with you. And maybe along the line, a bit in the future, you might even, because you will remember that they helped you. And maybe at a later date, they might need your help one day, maybe with their business, but maybe on a private matter, you don't know. But you will remember. You will remember that they helped you, and you will help them without even a second thought.
Yes, and also, too, one of the things I'm willing to say is that maybe at a later date when I do have that money and I can spend it on that person, that's who I will turn to, rather than
Absolutely.
the person who just started out pushing and trying to, pick my pocket.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. Remember my example of the butcher. Exactly.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Blake, do you have a question? No? Okay. So all the questions that we have in with Google and all the troubles and all the little things that we want to fix, we are starting a new Q&A with Google employees every Tuesday at 3 p.m. We're going to have the Google employees on a Hangout, and you can ask them anything and give them any suggestions, and they will answer your Google Plus questions. So
cool.
Yeah. So
that's great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they really want the feedback from us. So all that stuff.
That's another difference between Facebook and Google Plus. Try to find that on Facebook.
That's right.
I had a trouble once with Facebook, which was really, really annoying me, and I couldn't even find an email address on the whole Facebook website.
That's true.
And the funny thing is, the trouble I had was with the help system. I had a problem with that help forum they have there, because it always, when I clicked on a link, took me back to my homepage. That doesn't help me an awful lot. So I contacted them. In the end, I found through Google search, through Google search, I found a Facebook page that was not indexed in their website, so you can't get to it through any link. You have to go to Google and search for it. And there I found an email address, and I contacted them, asking them about that problem I had with the help feature, and get an automated email back to please refer to the help section. So that was it. I never contacted Facebook again.
All right,
yes, please. Sorry, Leva.
Oh, I was going to say that I am not knocking Facebook. Facebook has done some great stuff for me, like getting me back in touch with so many of my, people I went to college with, and see how wonderful they're doing in their lives, learning about their children. I am in contact with my cousins who are in the most remote parts of Guyana, and I can see their children. I haven't seen them since 1980. And I can see they have children, their entire family, what they're doing, and they're going to school. All three of them want to be teachers, and I can help them and help them find the resources they need. So I'm not at all knocking Facebook. The part about that I'm knocking is that way people have of wanting to be a part of your, let's say a part of your circle, even though I'm using a Google-type word. But they wanting to be a part of that, to build their list, to say, look how many people I have in my, following me, and how many people this, and at the same time, let me push my product onto you. I talk about, I have a business too, but trust me, I do not sell, I do not push. I simply provide resources to the people who are in need. And if they want to later on come and say, can you help me with this, or can I use your service for this? Yes. If they never do, I'm just as satisfied, because there was some advice I had given or some resource I had provided that helped them.
I think what Jens was saying is that Facebook is more kind of like a family place.
Okay.
Google Plus, you can go there, find your family pictures, and stay in touch with people that you already know. For Google Plus, you can go meet new people, make new friends. And you can get help from Google itself when you have to.
Oh, that's all definitely so, yes.
The reason why Facebook is at the moment disagreeing with me a lot is for exactly that reason. It's that they don't communicate with their user base.
That's true.
Because they don't communicate with the user base, they don't know what the user base wants. On Facebook, the only person who decides what the user wants is not the user, it's Mark Zuckerberg. And
Yes, they were saying that you are mistakenly thinking that you are Facebook consumer. Really, the consumers are the people who pay for advertisement.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so, you know, when they do some kind of, and we're going off board, but when they do some kind of like teaming up or joint ventures with like Politico and giving them access to information and all that stuff, it's because Politico pays them, where the users are just there, you know, providing information for free.
Yeah, you're not. But that's the same really with any social platform. It's the same with Google Plus. People think that they are, for example, that they are Facebook's client or they are or Google Plus's client. We are not their clients. We are the product.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
We don't pay for Facebook or for Google Plus. We are not their clients. We are the product. We are what Facebook or Google Plus is selling to their clients, and those are the people. Those are the companies that advertise. They sell our. I'm not even now talking about our data. I'm not talking about our information. I'm talking about us as people these companies can sell to. We are the product. We are not the client. That is important. That if somebody deals with a social platform, you have to keep that in mind.
That's very interesting.
Which is why I like the privacy settings of Google Plus.
Yeah, I like everything on Google Plus because Google Plus understood something very well. Google Plus understood that you have to keep your product happy too, not only the client.
Exactly.
Google Plus understood that if you have free-ranging pigs on your farm, you have to keep them free-ranging pigs happy because if not, they're going to run away and you're going to be left without a product. And that is what Google Plus understood and Facebook never understood.
Okay, today I learned I'm a free-range pig.
A good-looking one, though.
Thank you.
I think you're going to take Jen's class. You're going to know how to say that in German.
Exactly. Today I'm a free-range pig.
Well, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Please, +1, the poster will know how many people joined us, if you've seen us. And next week, I believe we're talking with Robert, actually. Robert Anderson.
Oh, cool.
You're certainly going to have an absolutely fascinating partner to talk to there, I can promise.
He's an amazing guy. It'll be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, bye.